Is it time to call it quits though? Like, is it time to admit that Martin isn't relevant anymore? I mean, don't get me wrong, like he used to be. Up until they ruined his show. I think like by season 8, he stopped being relevant. He had the time to release his books. Don't get me wrong. But the new Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, isn't doing as well as expected. The merchandise isn't selling as good. And on top of that, like, really no one expects that he's going to release his book. So I guess he actually got what he requested, which he didn't want people to harass him online. And by harassment, he means, like, people going on forums and asking him, like, when is the book ready, demanding the book. He didn't like that. So, like, I guess he's not going to have it anymore because most people now probably don't even care. And ironically, like, if the book was released tomorrow, I most likely wouldn't even read it. I mean, it's been ages, right? And even then, it's very unlikely that he will even make another book afterwards. So, like, the thing that really annoyed people was his behavior as well, because it's an unspoken agreement that once you start something, you finish it. Like, had you told people that you don't plan to finish the series, many like myself wouldn't even have purchased the books or even started watching the TV show. So basically, do not be shocked, do not be Pikachu face when people invest their own time and money, which is also important, by the way. It's not only his time and his money that's important. Our time and money is also equally valuable. And we invested it in his work, and he never finished it. Now, to add insult to injury, apparently someone used the AI in order to finish his books. Now, I would have to say, as a person who uses AI quite often, that this person probably did a little bit more than just, use the AI as a prompt and got the books written. Mostly because the AI doesn't really write that well. I mean, compared to Hollywood writers, it writes amazing. But if you have actually a talented writer, the AI can't really compete with that. And secondly, it doesn't have good memory. So you can get it to write like half a page, but then it stops. Like, it doesn't remember what it used to write. So you have to constantly prompt it. You gotta constantly intervene. You gotta constantly ask it to rewrite things, and then you just pick what's good, and then, right? It's a difficult process that would just be easier if you write the stuff yourself. But I don't think, like, Martin even understands these things. So, like, he's now suing OpenAI. The main problem is that he claims that OpenAI stole his books, but that's not what happened, right? Like, OpenAI claims that they didn't use his books in order to create the AI database. So it's kind of like suing the company that makes cameras because someone took a naked photo of you. Like, if anything, he could actually sue the person that wrote the fan fiction. That's the actual person that he may have a case against. But the company just puts a tool that is available for everyone, and how people use it, it's up to them. I do believe that if you create art, whether it's writing or pictures using AI, you don't really own the copyright for it, so there's that. But again, like, I don't think that he's going to win in this particular scenario. And take into account that he basically, when you go on the internet, if you view a website, you automatically download the things from the website. Like, your computer does that automatically, whether you want to or not. So everything that's on the internet is available for download. That does that mean that you should be able to sue the internet because people talk about your work and do fan fiction and stuff? I mean, the interesting part is that while his books aren't part of OpenAI database, there's definitely a lot of information about them online. I mean, there's people that have reviewed them, there's people that talked about them, there may be like some passages here and there. And if the AI has access to all the internet, like all that library, then it can put it together and kind of figure out what's going on. But I'm pretty sure, like, if you ask the AI, like, tell me what's on page 45 of the book, like, he may actually not know. I should actually check that. That's an interesting question. But if it does know, then you would have to prove that they actually put the books in, and it's not just like on some corner of the internet that someone talked about what is on that particular page and, did a YouTube analysis or whatever. But yeah, I genuinely like do not think he's going to win. I do think that he is embarrassing himself, and unironically, the interesting thing about this whole AI thing, what people don't want to understand is that this is literally how writers operate, right? Like think about it this way: you have a human being that's just born, so he's a baby. He learns stuff from the world, right? Like his parents teach him, the teachers at school teach him. Now let's say that you know he wasn't actually exposed to culture. He just, like 14 years old, knows how to write. Is he going to write a compelling story? Is he going to write an interesting book? Most likely not, right? So, like, how do people manage to write masterpieces? Well, they read a lot first, don't they? Like, you're going to start reading your Shakespeare, you're going to start reading your famous book authors, you're going to read your Harry Potter, your Lord of the Rings. I mean, Martin read Lord of the Rings, didn't he? Right, so as you're gaining the knowledge, as you're gaining the database, then you're going to be able to write stuff, but it's not entirely original, is it? I mean, in the case of Martin, he had to read about history, he had to read about other fantasies. I mean, he talks about reading Lord of the Rings, right? He's got dragons in his stuff. Like, dragons aren't his original creation. So basically, that's how writing works. Now, for some reason, if you do that automated, like you get a machine to do exactly the same process, people call it theft. I mean, I don't know. We don't really have legislation for or against it. I do think that in the future, there is going to be legislation that is going to regulate these things. And even if you were to make it so that it's impossible to like make AI that uses any type of reference to actual books and stuff, okay, well I guess like a company can just like hire writers to write for the AI, and now they actually have the trademark, and you can feed it stuff that is in the public domain, and you can feed it historical stuff, and you can feed it like a lot of other things, and all of a sudden, okay, now you have an AI that no one can bitch and complain about. And it can still write fan fiction based on your novel. So, yeah, I don't think that he's going to win this lawsuit. And honestly, I don't even sympathize with him anymore. Like, what he did to his fans is unacceptable. He should have, like, at least made a statement and said something like, look, I got writer's block. I can't write this anymore. Like, I'm really sorry. But no, like, he still wants to profit off the IP. While at the same time being sanctimonious to his fans. And I think like that's the thing that I can't forgive. I can forgive the fact that he can't finish his writing. I can forgive the fact that he was writing literally everything besides the last book. Like, okay, that's fine. I can't forgive that he was sanctimonious to the people that put food on his table, though. Like, that is beyond the pale. You should never talk like that with the people that made you rich and famous. And those of you who follow his blog posts know what I'm talking about. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, don't forget to check the pinned comment in the comment section. Take care.